Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new episode of Entrepreneurship Lab. This is Nevena Bajalac, your host. And today we're going to talk about how you can find more harmony in your business, in your work, and how you can achieve results with more ease and faster, right? Everyone wants results faster. And my guest is coming to us from south of France. His name is Arnaud Saint-Paul. I hope I pronounced that well. I'm not very good with French. Hi, Arnaud. And thank you for being my guest today.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure. So you're a published author. You help companies find harmony and teams find harmony in their work, in their company mission and vision. And you said you have a big mission out there. So can you share with us what your big mission is?
Yeah, my big mission. So I found out like 10, 15 years ago, my life purpose. So I'm dedicating myself to that and the rest of my years, which is to help 1 billion people to open their heart to themselves. And so, it's a fancy goal and then it's a fun goal anyway. And I'm happy to take time on that and invest my time in that because it makes sense to me in any case. So that's okay. And on that path, helping people to open their heart, it is about helping them find harmony and coherence and therefore joy and peace and balance and many other beautiful things in one's life. So that's my journey.
I love it. 1 billion people. Go big or go home, how they say.
Exactly.
Excellent. So tell us, Arnaud, a little bit more about your background. I mean, how did you came? Why harmony? Why peace? We're going to talk about opening our hearts. Why is that important in the first place? Because in corporations, sometimes we are really detached from the work, and we can see that in many companies. But let's start with you. Share with us a little bit of your background and how did you find your purpose?
My background, from a personal standpoint, a spiritual level, I had an awakening at 13, and I started my quest of answering the eternal question, who am I? And that brought me to visit the different Western philosophies and the Eastern ones as well, and religions and so on, and the practices. And on that path, in parallel to it, I also started to work in finance and then technology startups in Europe and the US, and was successful at it. And, that led me on that journey on parallel. So I had that need to help other people and help them grow and rebirth to themselves. On the other side, I was creating companies to help solve issues for people. And all of a sudden, as again 10 or 15 years ago, I decided to merge technology, finance, and that spiritual beingness of mine, and to bring about these ideas to the world, because I believe that they are quite important if we want to have a big change in our society, right? We want to start the next generation, but also this one, for them to live through their heart instead of their mind. Because mind is about scarcity, it's about segregation, it's about separation and differentiation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the list is very, very long. When living through our hearts or leading our life through our heart, whether it's in business or personal, it's exactly the same thing. It's about encompassing, it's about embracing, it's about accepting, it's about trust and wisdom and oneness all together, collaboration, which is the big word that is so important for society to master in the next few years. And we know all the challenges we have in front of us. It is only through collaboration and all these qualities of the heart that we can achieve them. And it always starts with oneself, right? It's not changing the world. It's me accepting myself, opening my heart to myself, becoming a better version of myself. And therefore, I am able to witness in my reality whatever changes I may want, right? So that's also a bit the message that I want to convey. It's not about what I can change outside, between quotes. It is about what I can change here, now, in this present moment. And by doing so, by applying all the beautiful methods we have, creating companies and whatnot, to myself in this moment, and doing it moment after moment after moment, I am going into an hyperbolic growth that will mathematically convert into a successful heart vision, manifested, and obviously from a personal and professional standpoint. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love it. And you reminded me of something Wallace D. Waters said in the book, Science of Getting Rich. I think you probably read it. He said, move from competitive to creative mind. And this is something that I think about every day, and working with companies and business owners. Like, what are we creating? It doesn't have to be inventing a new light bulb, but are we creating better service? Are we creating better team? Are we creating better environment to work in a company? So it's about really creation. And I love, because you're enjoying your journey, like having the big mission. It doesn't matter, like you said, but every step of the way, it's part of the mission. And that's where building a business becomes so much fun, and it's just so much fun. So tell us, for those who are listening, we have a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners listening, and a lot of startups. What are some biggest mistakes they might be doing and they're not consciously aware of them?
Ooh, the list is long.
Let's do three.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest mistake we are all doing all the time, or most of the time anyway, is to identify to something. So, like when you're going to the movies, you're going to a theater and you start the story and you are enthralled by the story, and you are that Sophie, or you are John, or whatever, and you're doing the whole thing, right? It could be on TV as well, or on your computer. And that's identification. I am pulling myself out of myself, and I'm in that actor with that specific story, right? The moment I am doing this, I am forgetting myself, right? And so exactly the same thing happens with our story of our startup, or the different conversations we're having with the partners, providers, whatever. And we're forgetting ourselves again and again and again and again. In other words, we're not present to ourselves.
Yeah.
And that means that you are at the very tip of your arrow, instead of using all your capacity. Instead of having the whole world helping you, right? We prefer to hustle and work hard, and having a lot of efforts behind something, an idea, or etc., which is great, right? But there's a far better approach, where you start becoming present to yourself, and then miracles start to happen.
So do you recommend that people start paying more attention on how they feel, what they need throughout the day, instead of just being in this circle of running and always being, because I hear a lot of business owners, being exhausted, tired. And when I started years ago, I thought I have to work 24/7. I didn't allow myself to have fun, to watch a movie. I was like, I need to build a business. And then I realized, wait, I'm building a business to enjoy my life more. So why don't start enjoying it now? Why am I torturing myself? And then I started prioritizing, like, weekends is off the charts, right? I don't work on weekends. It's enjoying beach, whatever I like to do with my friends. And then also there is like a calendar when I'm going to meet people. I'm not going to meet them at 11 p.m. like I did, because I thought I have to give my time and sacrifice everything. So is this what you're saying you see, and what you're suggesting, that we become more present and really pay attention on ourselves?
Yes, it's a great example, the one you just shared. By allowing yourself to nurture yourself, number one, right? But also confirming that you have an existence, right? You all of a sudden, people want to work with you.
Yes.
Not the other way around.
Yes.
And therefore, and by amplifying your presence to yourself, the more and more people wants to work with you. So, and it comes easily. And that's the one that's the part that is mind-boggling to people in general. How come I am working my ass off and it's mildly working, right? The results. And he's telling me I can just be here and everything will come to me. Not possible. Well, it actually is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you will not work. You can always decide to work, but from a very different standpoint. And you may work 20 hours, you may work 80 hours, up to you, but from a place of presence and not a place of identification, which enables you to create leverage points. Therefore, accelerate your growth, whether it is internal and or in your company, and help you to be faster wherever you want to go, as long as we don't forget that the journey is the whole thing, right?
Yes.
It's not the destination.
Yes.
So yeah.
I want to ask you about maybe a tip or an exercise that people can use, because I struggle. I think this is one of the paradigms. I mean, I'm still working on it, but I definitely did change it in the last couple of years, was that I really have to work hard if I think I'm worth of money, or, like we really believe that we have to work hard and struggle. And I listen to a lot of different people who are speaking the same thing as you and spiritual teachers. And it was hard because we are programmed to work hard. And even I saw people who are, very successful, they kind of had a need to always justify, but I'm working hard. It's like a punishment, like, oh no, you shouldn't be relaxed. And like you said, work less with this empowerment and energy of the whole universe, right? That you can bring in, align, and work can come easy. And you don't have to be tired and exhausted. So I think this is really hard paradigm for a lot of us to change. And it definitely was hard for me. So what is one exercise people can do to maybe change that belief?
Okay, so before I get into the exercise, you told us about the beach earlier.
Yes.
So do you think that a surfer on a wave has to work hard to stay on the wave? No, he has to be in perfect balance, carried by the wave, and he will land softly at some point on the shore, right? So this is what we're talking about. For the wave to carry me, the wave of business, the wave of life in general, I just need to be in perfect balance with myself. And it will carry me. If I am not, there's no wave. I'm battling in the water and doing whatever I can to make it happen, right?
Yes.
And can a surfer create a wave? No.
I love it. This paints a picture really to help people understand that there is something more powerful. And sometimes you think we can, we're trying to control things, and letting go and deciding what you want, what type of people you want, what customers, clients you want. This really helped me. And I'm hoping it can help those who are listening. Sorry. Go on.
So as you just said, the surfer cannot create the wave. There's no way. He can, make a lot of noise and movement. It doesn't happen. And so it is for the surfer to trust that a wave is coming, letting it come at its own pace, not the surfer's pace, the wave's pace, sorry. And then build upon it and grow with it. And that is quite important. So to get back to the tip that you were asking me earlier, part of the trick is to start not be hypnotized by where I want to be in the future. I'm going to make millions and unicorn and whatever, if we're talking about tech startups, but more becoming present to this moment and allowing ourselves to accept whatever may come, whenever it may be coming. And that's the trick.
Which is hard.
Which,
because we're not patient often.
Which we believe it to be hard. It's just that
Okay.
we're not looking at the right place. We're always looking in front, in the future, where we have placed so much energy in the future that we forgot that there's a present.
Yeah.
Right. And there is on our website, tapwad.com/harmony, you can download or you can watch a 3 ways to find harmony within. It's a highlight of a workshop I did, and that will be available afterwards on the website. And you can watch that. So we have there 3 tips to be able to find harmony within, to prep you up on that path, right?
Beautiful. So we're going to make sure that we put the website on the description of this episode. So if you're looking, go to this website and check the videos to learn more tips on how to find harmony. This was really helpful. And like you said, often we forget, we're always chasing, looking forward. We were not present, simply not present in this moment. So what would be, before we go into the last question, actually, I would like for you to share a little bit more about your book. So can you tell us more what your book and your programs are about?
Yeah, my second book is called I, and it's the journey of I towards itself and towards its self, its higher self, in other words. And it's an experience where we have 66 paths towards more harmony, where you experience a different point of view from your I, right, as the reader. So to help you embrace another aspect of yourself. And we explain in the book why it works, why it actually can have huge impacts in your life if you allow it to, because obviously you can read a book from a knowledge perspective and that's it, or you can go into it. And the way this is transmitted, it is through poems in this case. It's not a knowledge-based book, it's an experience-based book.
Yeah.
So that's one part. And then all that is based on the Heartful Method, which is a visual chart of how consciousness works and how we can go from a mind-related way of living to a heart-driven one. And so we have several offers. There's one-on-one coaching, but also retreats throughout the world in different places. So Bali, Mexico, France, and other places every quarter, where during 5-6 days, people are experiencing what harmony is, so that they can invite it in their lives all the day. Right.
Beautiful. And retreats can be very helpful and good for, connecting and being present and meeting people who are on the same path and similar journey as well. All right. So I want to jump into our last question. I would like to ask you, what is the last tip you would like to give to anyone who is building a business? Either they're starting or they already have a team. What is the one tip that you would tell them?
What came to mind here is believe in yourself, because you are grander than whom you believe to be. Now it is time to accept it as well.
I love it. Beautiful. Well, thank you for being here, Arnaud. We will make sure that we invite everyone to click and visit your website and reach out, and please check his books. They're definitely beneficial. It's going to add a lot of value to your life, your family, and your business. And thank you for being here, for listening. Make sure to save this episode, subscribe, download, share with others so they can benefit as well. Thank you once again for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.